Hey, what's up, my lighting amigos? Good to see you guys again. Another week, another dollar. How's everyone doing?
Doing
Well, I get.
fantastic over here.
I guess you're from the poor side of town. It's another week, another 10 grand for some of us out here in Southern California.
Oh
You know.
well, we're doing some big installs and some cool stuff. Don't take my dollar literally, Nate.
Well, I
I'm
Maybe
just
doing
want
some
to get.
small installs and some pretty bad stuff here.
I just like getting to the fact of us slumdog millionaires, didn't get there by making $1 a day. Just trying to reinforce your saying.
hey, if I had an extra dollar, I would buy you a comb and send it your way, buddy.
Yeah.
That's one thing off subject, but I feel like from my experience, the older you get, the less you give a shit about what your hair looks like.
Oh, what makes
Right?
you think of that?
Is that
Mm.
I don't know. My dad looks disheveled as heck. He doesn't really care. But maybe
Well,
he always has. Nate, have you always been disheveled or
yeah,
did
I think I've always had the attitude that I really don't give a shit. My wife bothers me every damn day of my life that I don't give a shit. I don't take care of myself. Why don't I comb my hair? How come I'm this? You like just starting to like put eye fucking cream on me and right? It's just like, yeah, I don't really give a shit, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
It's
Yeah, I
part.
guess.
It's like all this. It's your marketing though, right? Because every time I see you, no matter what you're doing, you could have just woke up. You could have been up for 16 hours. You always look like you've been in just working your ass off. Like, oh my god, you got to see what I did, no matter when. So I think it's part of your marketing. Like your hair is just always going crazy, and feel like this guy works.
But I always have my wizard logos on though. I mean, you got to give that
There you
to
go.
me, right? So it's on my
That's true.
hat, on my shirts.
You have
So
more shirts than any person I've ever met in my entire life. Probably everyone I know, like combined.
yeah. So I guess I guess when you
Nice.
grow up really poor like I did, and you probably had 3 shirts, and at some point in life you're like, I want 1,000 shirts, and you get 1,000 shirts. Fuck it, right?
There you go. Everyone needs a dream.
So yeah.
So we
Hey,
just came off of a great call, right? What are we doing on
yeah.
this podcast here?
So
Well,
Oh,
I don't know.
Paul.
So I was going to respond, Shane, when you said, "Hey, it's been a great week for me." I just had a great day, let alone the last fucking week. I just got done helping a person sell 245 lights and another person sell 112 lights. That'll balloon into over 500 lights after they do, added, because one of the job was 3 out of 4 phases. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a good fucking day right there, man.
hey, you also have Kyle who's got that 500 light job kind of in the
Yeah.
pipe as well, right?
Well, no, we've made the product. It's being shipped probably today. I'm getting on a plane on the 18th, which is technically in about 2 weeks from today.
Wow.
Actually, 2 weeks from today, I'm getting on a goddamn plane. So my goal is to, which we've technically sold a 520 light job. I'm sending 520 fixtures out. So, but my goal is to get off that plane and we're gonna demo. Get off the plane at 4:30. We're gonna go demo a job that night and my goal is to sell 1,000 lights for Kyle. That's my goal. And so obviously he needs to go get fucking jobs for me to go walk, and he is doing that. So we're gonna go
Wait,
sell a
who's
thousand lights.
Kyle? Why are you helping
He's one-
Kyle? Who is he?
well, he's one of our lighting assassins. He got brought into the fold sometime last year through you, man. I think you introduced him to me, and he's came out to 2 5-day seminars and talk to him all the time, and he's leveraged us, all three of us actually. He's leveraged our knowledge, if you will, and he is a full-time lighting guy now. Does Christmas lighting, the wintertime, whatever, and then subsidizes or fills in those 9 months with full-time lighting now. He's doing great, and this will be the
Oh, yeah.
biggest job that he's ever done. And this is one of the strengths I think that we have is leveraging the technology, which still blows my goddamn mind because up until recently I just did FaceTime with my grandkids and we FaceTimed the client and it was actually really cool. I was doing a 5-day seminar 3 weeks ago, give or take. Kyle texted me and I'm texting back, hey, I can't I can't talk to you right now. I'm, doing training. And he texted me back 911. We all know that. Don't fucking, you got 411 calls, 911 calls. He texted back 911. I said, well, fuck it. I'll call him, FaceTimed him. He FaceTimed me with the class. So I'm doing the advanced seminar, FaceTimed it with the class and with the homeowner. And Kyle had basically said, hey, I've kind of pre-sold this guy 200 lights, so on and so forth. And I told the client, hey, I don't ever want to undermine one of my students, one of the guys that obviously has been to my training, but there's no way this is a 200 light job. This is a 350 light job, 400, right? And let me go through the whole dissertation and walk the whole deal. So between that FaceTime, looking at photos, coming up with a comprehensive design, having a subsequent phone call with him, settled on 520 lights. So that's a goddamn fucking win.
I would
Yeah,
say so.
it's funny because that's like what I intended this topic to be. Almost like you guys read my mind because I know we prep very, very little. For you guys in the audience, there's very little prep that goes into these calls. So we just try to let it, top of the dome.
Well,
So
when you think about the amount of time we save, I don't spend any time combing my fucking hair, and I don't spend any time prepping for these calls.
I think it's a testament to how much we know and love lighting, though. We can just go. I mean, we can just talk about it all damn day if you all would listen.
well,
Okay.
yeah,
Well.
we talk and breathe lighting. You totally misread that. Classic Nate.
Classic Nate.
So I was going to go over just, we've got a lot of successes, from our students in the Illuminati Lounge Club that we just started earlier this year. And this is like, you just mentioned like a couple of those wins that I was even going to bring up. But, just kind of a testament. I am so proud that going through, just the little classes or trainings or calls that we make, that these guys have like upped their game times 10. Some of these pictures I'm going to show are like their very first install, which I think, is a testament to working with Nate, working with the Illuminati Lounge, and just, if you want to learn, this is probably the way to do it.
I think we're going to see a common thread too when we see all the guys who are becoming real, like the badass guys, what we call them, like the badass group, the assassins. Not only are they, they show up to Illuminati Lounge Club calls, they go to live trainings, they also leverage, like they understand who, it's not just Nate, right? They use you, they use me. All of our top guys, you can see, are being smart and being like, I have all of this access. Like for instance, one of your Glow Geeks guys, Shane. Now Shane does licensing of Glow Geeks across the country. He had a question about lights and snow, and so he called me. Right, like how badass is that? That when you come into our inner circle, you've got California, Texas, New York, and you've got guys that have all been in outdoor lighting, independently over 10 years each for sure, but collectively 60, 75 years in the network we have. We aren't just sitting behind a computer doing this. We're out in the field, touching, feeling, doing the actual designs, doing installs. Just a wealth of knowledge. And these guys who know and are able to leverage that access they have changes the game.
100%. Well said. And he said, our inner circle, just for you guys listening, our inner circle is not a big inner circle. We only want, a small inner circle of guys to work with. That's not something that we charge for. Of course, if you're a Glow Geek or mentoring by Matt, there's some next level stuff that you can go through just to be in our inner circle. You just got to, I don't know, what would be qualifications?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, right? When you talk about inner circle, this isn't some, hey, we're going to charge you, $40,000 a year and you got to pay that every year to get in. This inner circle we're talking about is lighting designers that have just turned badass and they're buying lifetime lighting products. That's how we make our money, is when these badass guys use lifetime lighting products. If they're not using lifetime, you're not going to be in our inner circle. It just isn't going to happen because we give all this information away for free, but it's really for the hope and the anticipation that you're going to buy a lot of lighting fixtures through us. And the designs we teach you can't be done with other companies, not because they're shit quality or they're bad lights. There's a lot of great quality lights out there that can't do what we do and do our style, period. Just to be clear. And I know some people don't understand the fact they're in the Illuminati Lounge Club to listen to this. Lifetime Lighting isn't just our main sponsor. They're like, that's us. That's who we're representing here. Yes, we don't own a piece of it. It's Nate's company, and we're here to sell it, to make better designs across America, buying American-made fixtures through Lifetime Lighting. Like, if it's not clear, that's the statement. Hopefully, you all hear it. Is that clear enough, Nate?
Yeah, built in
I think
America.
Well, yeah, I think that's very, very good and certainly understandable. But I want to just reinforce, right? My goal, right, is I've certainly taught thousands of people over 30 some years, give or take. And I'm really sick and tired of teaching stupid people. I'm tired of, hopefully there's no landscapers listening to this, but you know what? Landscapers inherently are fucking, they don't care about it. They pretend that they're experts in not only irrigation, drainage, horticulture, maintenance, trimming, planting, right? They think you're experts in 15 different fields, let alone lighting is in the 16th, right? And they don't really care. They want to throw in 5 lights. So I've learned that my time, I want to dedicate my time to a certain selected group of people that want to become, as Shane would say, slumdog millionaires, or whatever Shane calls us, white trash millionaires. What do you call us, Shane? Right? Want to be millionaires? Dipshit millionaires. Okay, perfect. My goal is to get other dipshit millionaires out there that want to live and breathe outdoor lighting. So when you have our team like I do, me, Shane, and Matt, I get up every motherfucking day and I live and breathe outdoor lighting. How can I improve my company? How can I improve my product? How can I come up with a new concept in outdoor lighting, which I do every single job that I do? How do I improve my lighting? What's a new technique? So my product, because I'm a lighting manufacturer, besides a lighting, right, designer, right, that happens to install my own product, right, I engineer in the field. I prove concepts in the field, and no one else fucking does that. Nobody, right? So that gives us our edge. So we're not only have the best proven techniques, the best proven right mounting methods to install our fixtures. You can't do badass lighting jobs with normal bottles of ketchup, commodity fixtures. And I've said it before. All competition is basically bottles of ketchup, right? And you can buy China shit, you can buy American shit. It doesn't matter, but you're buying it from people that have never installed a goddamn light. That's pretty much fundamentally true. At least it's 98% true. So anyway, so my goal is I want to have a core group of lighting assassins out there that want to make a lot of money in lights and separate themselves.
All right. Well, I'm going to show you some pictures. So I'm excited about this. I'll preface this first one. Is if you're not watching us on YouTube, you probably should be, right? So you can kind of see these
or Spotify
conversation or Spotify. So this guy, his name's Andrew. I don't think he'd mind sharing his name. But I met him in like one of the Facebook groups. He had some questions. I reached out to him, told him I'd be willing to help him. Really just kind of been a nice guy. I don't know him. He didn't know me from Adam. And he texted me some pictures. I went on a loom and kind of made like a 30-minute loom. It went way longer than I really want just to give some random stranger. But, he watched it. And I don't know if he showed that to the client, but that was like mind blown. He got his way into a demo. And then I introduced him to Nate. Nate helped him with the design. He got a demo kit. He sold 100 fixtures, and then he went back and sold phase 2, which was another 100 plus fixtures. This was his very first install. And Matt, if you haven't seen the pictures, like they're pretty mind blowing for a first install. He would tell you that there's no way in hell he would have been able to do the demo, sell the job, much less install the job. Like this is a level 10. This is the kind of stuff in action, that we're looking for. You guys can see that, right?
Yeah.
That's not the right photo. That's not the right photo.
Oh, that's someone else.
That's a different job.
This one.
That's the entry.
This one.
That's the entry. Yep.
This is his first job ever.
First job. This is phase 2. So this is phase 2. These photos are phase 2, which went consecutively from phase 1 to phase 2.
All right, here's phase 1.
There's phase 1.
Wow.
And and this was a hard job. So imagine he's never done lighting before. Well, actually, this is a second job. He did a chicken shit job before this, so we don't even count that. But imagine trying to FaceTime with him. He borrowed the demo kits and trying to establish for his really first job, 100 and some lights, doing this very formal garden, sticking lights in the hedges and trying to do this. You got to hand it out to give the guy kudos for, you know, trusting and believing, right?
Right.
And selling it to the homeowner, having the confidence to do that. And right. So I'm very proud of him.
On his first install, his first real install, right? Because the
Yeah.
second one was Mickey Mouse.
So
Yeah.
what are those? Those are regular copper enhancer 9s from Lifetime
No,
Lighting in the bushes?
yes, they're enhancer nines, custom linked, so we could have the exact, I like about 8 to 10 inches above the hedge, as you can see. But the client wanted black, so we painted them black.
Okay.
But yeah, there was turned out really, really, really good. And it was, these jobs are a little bit more challenging, right? Because spacing is incredibly important because everything is very symmetrical and everything is like very predictable as far as the light when it comes down on the hard surfaces like that. And you can see the even transition, so it's very cohesive without having concentric circles. So spacing is critical, which is another advantage of doing a demo. You can, prove your concept and design the demo, and it turned out fucking perfect.
Yeah, first install. I mean, Andrew, is a badass. I'll give it to him. Like, this was really well done. But he would have never ever came up with this design and this kind of trick shit on his own without the help of Nate, who we all have access to just because we buy through Lifetime Lighting Systems. So
yeah, I would say this would be badass even if it wasn't the first job. The first job just makes it insane. I mean, this is your 100th job. This is still a badass job. Are you kidding me?
This is the kind of a job of someone who's been doing this for a decade plus and is super skilled. You don't get to jump to this level, without some major help in education
or dots on a paper.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then I'll go back and just kind of, Nate, if there's anything to add. I got a couple of these.
So a couple things, just if you want to just do that, if you went back just for fun. So you don't have to be married to your design concepts. If you went back to that previous photo, just real quick, Shane, is you don't have to be married. So they didn't realize this. So they had demoed 60 degree, right? We had designed 60 degree. So when they ordered the lights on the hedges back there, you can see them. There's a 36 degree, and they had them pulled out too far. So they did two things. They didn't order the light bulb right, so they've changed it now to 60 degree, and they didn't have them placed properly. So you always got to make sure that you're critical of yourself, right? And I know that I'm critical of myself. When I see this, I knew that there was a mistake being made, and obviously I knew it was placement in a light bulb. So that's now changed now. So the beam spread is more appropriate on that back hedge wall back there, and it's not, obviously little pencil beams going up with the bad placement in 36 degree. Just wanted to make that comment.
Let me, if I can, let me jump on that real quick because Nate talked about always getting better and kind of, iron sharpens iron. Like, if you go on so often, you go on social media, you post any picture, you just get praise. So I know it can be tough talking to us because when we talk, even to each other, when we share photos with each other, the thing is, we already know we're badass lighting designers, so we don't really need to prove that. When we're sharing, it's like, what could we do better? Or, hey, look at this new trick thing I did. What do you think of it? So it's to get better and always be better. If we just stayed stale and pretend like we never made a mistake, like right before this call, I was sharing with Nate and Shane something I just did, and we were, kind of tearing apart. What could I have done differently? Do we like it? How could it be better? When you have that attitude of course, I joke around that, Shane hates me, and that's the only reason he didn't like my designs. He's scared I'm going to move to Texas, all this stuff. But that's how you continually get better. It's easy to be like, oh, I'll post on Facebook and everyone loved it and says it's the best lighting job in the world. Well, great. I guess you have peaked and now you can retire because you can never get better. Like, be willing to accept critiques from people who know, not just critiques on, oh, I would have used a 5,000 Kelvin light bulb on that one tree. Right. So just as encouraging, like, if you're only getting praise, you're not in the right circle.
True that. You just have to get around Nate long enough to know that.
But it's true. It helps us all get better.
It's our
Yes.
job. It's our job. Our job is to make you get better, and you don't get better unless you fucking critique yourself correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a badass fucking looking entry right there.
Yeah, it is.
I love how I got the corners. I didn't overly like these columns. Got texture revealed, got the shadows. Didn't overly like this tree, more backlit it. Like everything about it is great. Define more of the perimeter by lighting some of the trees up here. Um, or just added space and depth by not just going with the hedge, but going up there. Like this is a really cool job. I'm glad you shared these pictures with me because they're cool.
This is amazing. I would have loved to do this job. I'd be proud of it.
Yeah, I'd be really proud. Oh, Nate says that picture was something else. I don't know where that picture came from. Was that Kevin?
No, so this is, I think this is the fence going up on the other side of the driveway. So I'm gonna say this is the same job.
Oh, okay.
The very first fence line was not the same job, but this is definitely the same job.
Well, let's ask about this because this is a differentiator. You talk to most people, they're going to always avoid lighting the fence. I think this looks badass. Now, what happens if we don't light this fence? Besides, obviously, you sell us fixtures. What happens to the rest of here? I mean, the tree just becomes a glowing spot, right? Because of
lighting the fence is kind of what creates the bridge of light to the next fence and the rest of the property.
Yeah, the apparent brightness on that tree without the backlights would be crazy bright.
Yeah, it would, so cohesion is the key, bridging the fixture between focal points or anchor points, right? So, if you didn't have a fence there, you'd have to introduce transitional lighting via an enhancer or skylers hanging from the tree. You have to introduce something. But fences are obviously really bitchin', and obviously there's three concepts when you do a fence, and there's no set rules, right? You could do between the posts like we did here, center, center, center. And I had them demo because I don't know until that's why the demo's key, because you could do the field like you did between the posts. You could do the post, so you would start with the corner post and the end post, and then you would do every post in between. That gives it an entirely different look. You can put the light fixtures behind the post, and that diminishes the light even more, right? So you can't really get hooked on one different way. Every job, right, deserves how the architecture of the fence is going to look, predicated upon different things and predicated on spacing and predicated upon backlighting the trees. So everything is going to be unique and appropriate to that job. But yeah, so without those lights there, you'd have to do something. So, I always like to say it takes what it takes. And, this is when you do a lighting portrait, this is what it takes. And I don't think most people would have ever done that because in my experience, every time you tell a homeowner, I'm going to light the fence, every time they go, you're not lighting the fence. Nobody wants their fence lit. Nobody wants their roof lit because they've never seen it done correctly. So, but yeah, it's badass.
Yep. I will move on to the next job. So well done, Andrew. I hope you guys as an audience, just even seeing these pictures and kind of maybe it helps you understand design a little bit more. But also like if you think this is way beyond your expertise or skill, or you're just not there as a designer, I want you to remember, this is not from a polished designer, not someone who's been doing this for 10 years. This was his first job, second job. Matt, if you can add, there's a couple other pictures. You can delete some of these, maybe bring some more. I'm gonna go to this one from a fella on the East Coast. So we went from West Coast to now East Coast, Virginia area. This was a demo. He's doing the install. He sold it, but this is just a picture that was given to me, and I saw it, and man, I thought, he just knocked it out of the park. I mean, Ramon has been so plugged in to every call, always asks questions. I think he probably calls all three of us with questions. And I mean, this design, I think he just nailed it, probably nearly perfect for the purposes of a demo, right? There's other things maybe we can add and make this a little bit nicer, but not for a demo. And this just looks great.
So I remember this job very, very well when he sent me this photo. I think it was the next day. And I just remember telling him, Whoever taught you how to do outdoor lighting must have been a fucking genius, because this is fucking amazing, right? And I mean, it makes me so incredibly proud when I see somebody that takes learned techniques that we teach them and then they apply it and they have thought, right, about their visual objectives and what they're trying to visually achieve here. It's mind blowing good. So beyond proud of Ramon here, beyond proud.
Yeah. I mean, look, and how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, I can see 15 just from this little image. You know how many guys, especially starting off, or maybe they've been just doing basic designs. You imagine them telling this little screenshot right here is going to be more than 15 lights. I'd be scared too as a new guy with no backing, without people who know design, that do it daily, and then know how to install it as well. Crazy.
I think there are some customers, right, where you have to match the design with budget or price. But I think rich people, someone who has something really amazing, like this is outdoor kitchen area and chill areas, like they put a lot of money into this. I think that's where like a good design, will outsell price all day because no other designer comes in and is offering to put lights in these different areas. That is really rare. And that's
Well,
probably what's the job.
Well, I want to make a comment. I want to make sure that people don't misunderstood what you just said, because maybe I'm misunderstanding it. You said rich people. I'm going to disagree with that, right? You don't have to be rich to put in to enjoy your home. You don't have to be rich to sit there and over years, right, add to your home and make it better and put maybe they got a line of credit and did this most badass property, and they're just normal people that love their home and have more usability of their home. So it's not like it's a second or third home for a rich guy. Normal people, right? When you think about how to do sales and make money, we do more jobs for normal people for the most part than we do with super wealthy people, right? Because
Well,
normal people love their home, and lighting makes you get 100% usability and enjoy your space without anything. So it's so easy to sell jobs like this when you do a kick-ass job, right? It's like it's like I've said this before so many times. It's the demo that sells the job. So technically, they're visually seeing it. You know, now the demo creates a need, creates a want, and the demo creates selling into buying. So it's the biggest no-brainer ever. But you don't have to be rich to afford outdoor lighting.
I think I think that rich comment could be relative, right? If you're spending 20 grand on lighting, like I think you're rich, but your house might not show it. So I think there's a thing, right? People move into a house that's a regular house or a modest house, and they become wealthy over a decade or so, and now they just love their house and they really want to light it up, and they've got money to put in it. Certainly, I think all of us here have done 20 plus $1,000 jobs on a $500,000 kind of middle of the road home or more.
I've done it on $200,000 homes. I gotta agree with Nate on this one. I got a lot of clients that are not wealthy, but they do have equity in their home and they love their backyards. I think I see it happen so many times where guys are like, I'm only going to target this certain person. Now, of course, we all love the billionaire. We all love the home runs that are 50, 60, 100,000 plus dollar jobs to start. But our bread and butter is, less than that for sure. Even with Nate start. I mean, no matter how wealthy you are, you don't want to, there's a limit to how much most people even want to consider starting with landscape lighting.
Well,
as
you're
you
saying
as
wealthy. I think rich is here, wealthy is here.
Okay, that's semantics.
well I as you guys both know, and anybody that especially we probably had 25 people or 20 people come out to the 5-day advanced seminars in 2025, and you guys have both been. I take you to my neighbors. I live in a very normal type community, right? Certainly not a wealthy community. It's fairly normal, and I take you to where, right, we put 300 lights at Charlie's house, a normal house. Maybe it's upper normal, right? But nobody would have put 300 lights on that job. He got bids for other people, and the highest bid he got was like 70 lights. I put 300. I take you to other jobs that we put 200, 250 lights on, normal homes. Now, they're not a normal home, meaning it's two people work at McDonald's and they live in an apartment or whatever. Yeah, but they're normal $1 million, $2 million homes, right? And that's normal in California,
Right. I
right?
was gonna say
And
that's California normal for
but but
sure.
Yeah.
but this house is
I
probably
mean,
normal, right? I know this house. I've seen this house, right, in pictures. These are not wealthy people. These are normal people that have equity in their home. They enjoy their home, and then when you light it up, it blows their fucking mind, right? And
well,
that's the intent of the demo, blowing someone's mind, getting usability of that space, enjoying it on a day-to-day basis. So I just have to disagree again. You don't have to be rich to do a 200 light job. They have to be able to be wanted and create the need, and somehow they got to get the fucking money and sell their goddamn stocks. I don't care how they got to get the money. Tell your wife to get a fucking job. I don't know, right?
And this is
You
one of the
know?
perfect examples of being part of our group because the pushback, the growing, right? This is like, it might sound like, I know Shane's laughing, thinking we're all arguing, but this is where gold comes from. You're pushing each other, you're pushing your marketing mind, you're pushing your sales mind. This is the type of conversations you want to be involved in. If everyone agrees with everything you say in your little inner circle, if all three of us, everything we said, we all just agreed, it'd be ridiculous. We'd be stagnant
Right.
and we would,
So
well,
so
I
what
still
what what
think
what
I'm defining rich is different than
well
you are. If you have a net
subjective.
worth of $1
It's
million
subjective.
net worth, you're technically by definition rich.
I think what I
Charlie
heard
is by definition rich. He's not
I
worth
think
20 million. He's not wealthy, but he's rich.
I think what I heard Matt say is Matt said you were wrong and I was right. That's what I heard.
There's
So,
someone
Fine.
else. All right.
all right.
Of
Anyway,
course.
we all agree this is one badass job.
And we all agree Shane is wrong, and this is a badass job. All right.
Wait. So I'm going to go to the next picture here. This
do
was, by Glow Geeks Orange County, actually, who knew nothing about lights. And this was his first install also. There's another
Yep.
picture, Matt. I don't know what happened to it, but it was
Amazing.
It was the front of the house that I really liked that picture. I wanted to show that.
What? All right, let me find that for you. You talk about it.
Right. But let's talk about this. Shane, you want me to talk about this?
Well, go back and talk about the person that installed it and then talk about this job, if that's what you're going to say. Because, if this guy can do it, anyone can do it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
No, that's a different job.
Well,
Same guy, different job, but that's okay, right?
yes.
Um,
Same guy, different job. He did them the same month.
yeah, I did him in the same week, correct. But go back, Shane, into the one with the pool, just so we don't get off track, because I think this is a very good story. So this is a guy that is part of Shane's Glow Geek, whatever you want to call it, Shane franchise. You name it after I get done with my little dissertation here about what you do. But anyway, so this is one of Shane's guys, and he happens to live 30 minutes from me, so it's very convenient. This is his first job install, real job. This was he contacted one of the people that he knew that he does Christmas lights for as a favor. The guy says, "Of course you can come over and demo the job." So coincidentally, the guy that I loaned my demo kit to the first job, David Flores, he brought my demo lights to this job because I needed them. So we demoed it with the lights I got back from David. Anyway, we demoed about 100 lights. So anyway, of course, the homeowner basically said, "Fuck you guys." He was kind of mad. You knew that I was going to love this. You knew my wife was going to love this. You really tricked me. It was all good in favor. Anyway, there's over 200 lights on this job now. So we went back to this job about a couple of weeks ago and I looked at it and I'm super happy with it, but I'm not happy with anything in relative to the waterfall and the rocks and stuff. So we've redesigned it and going to add another 30 lights to make it look unbelievable and get it to a level 11. But this is his first job. This was his first demo and he sold 200 lights. This is how overwhelming and powerful lighting is. And this guy had my old company Unique Lights in. There was over 100 unique lights in this property that were just fucked up and knocked over, misplaced, things had grown, no maintenance has been done. So it's like, yeah, rip the fucking things out and we'll put new lights in. But yeah, over a 200 light job. It's fucking studly.
Wow.
And this is the power of the demo.
First
Yep.
job. Power of being involved in with
A lot of
delaying
calls.
trade school. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Talking over you.
No, even more important, right, Matt? More kind of the power of being in the inner circle.
Yeah, because we have seen bad demos. We had that one guy in Illuminati Lounge Club say, I stopped doing demos because they look horrible. I'm like, you know, he'd rather just get the money, deliver a bad job than show them how bad it's going to be beforehand. So it's not just the power of a demo. You got to know what you're doing on that demo.
You better believe you got to know what you're doing.
So, Nate, this was another job, right, in your area by Glow Geeks, Orange County.
Yep.
I think this was more of like this was a really difficult install for being like one of your first, 1, 2, or third job. There's a lot of core drilling. There's down lights. There's up lights. There's a lot of concrete. This was not an easy install, or design. Tell us about it, 'cause there's a lot kind of going on here. You got some ups and downs.
So this was a very interesting job, and I'm just gonna, give the short story how we got involved. Now, this was the guy that we just looked at, Kevin. This was the second job that this is immediately, kind of concurrently with the first job we just toned out with the backyard pool. Somehow Kevin got wind of this, somehow that someone had bid the job, and they had bid, I don't know, 100 lights, and it was 25,000, give or take. And so we got wind of it. I meet Kevin up there with the homeowner. The other company literally had it flagged. They hadn't signed a contract yet. And of course, it was flagged pathway lights all up and down the driveway, nothing on the house. So do about an hour and a half dissertation with the homeowner, and they kicked the other lighting guy off. Kevin gets the job, and we focus only on the house. We didn't even do the entry. We didn't do any lights but one tree on the driveway. So, and of course, we blew the homeowner's mind. Very difficult architectural, the way it's chopped up on the front, on the side, on the back. So it was a very difficult design and install job, especially for your second job. But now we just got the order yesterday for 66 more lights, or actually 66 and 8. So 74 lights going for phase 2 now, down the driveway. So yeah, I know it's awesome. And this was the second job, and just power of, we didn't demo this job. The guy just, we did a good job in our dissertation and our walkthrough. So we did not have to demo the job. But yeah. Yep. Very powerful.
Sorry.
Subliminal messaging.
Bring that forward. But damn, that's a good looking truck and trailer. Must say.
Maybe you should rebrand yourself to Glow Geek Millionaires. Instead of being Slumdog Millionaires, you're Glow Geek Millionaire.
So you get one of those cyber trucks that's wrapped with every licensee that, like if I signed up for a Glow Geek, you'd send me that?
Yeah, you get a 100 light job, I'll give you that for free.
Now, what he means by that, Matt, what he means by that, you're going to get an 8x10 postcard.
You get the little version of
Hot Wheels. Oh man.
So I don't have any other pictures. These are just ones I pulled up off my phone and sent you guys 30 seconds before. So
we didn't
talk about this one. What's this one?
Yeah, what about this one?
What is a dope picture? So this goes back to you guys. This was a regular backyard, right? Regular guy, you would say, but he's rich. So he's got a really small backyard. Like, this is the fence. His backyard's only 60 feet long. It's not a big home, small front yard. But we put 70, 80 lights or something all around. And just like this picture, but the point of the picture was for these Imperials here, these up downs. It's just a really good, fixture. This just looked super badass. Plus these
super badass
things look badass. The trees back here aren't even his trees, but we lit those just to add some depth to his backyard. This whole fence ended up getting lit, and he did some landscaping here. So there's some updated pictures. We even put this little enhancer in the blue pot that you can see, which got changed around. Now there's plants and stuff in it, but it was, you just don't think that these little homes would put 70 lights up. But he was really proud of his home.
All right.
So super good job on that last photo. Shane, the very first photo that you pulled up that had the fence, and I told you that wasn't the right job. Can you pull that photo up? I mean, I think I have a good comment on that one photo.
And
And
we already removed because we're only allowed to have like 8 or 10 pictures or so at a time.
well, that's just a good fucking story about. No, it was the one with the fence. Nope.
Yeah, nope, that
Nope.
one got
Nope.
X.
Oh well, that's too bad. I had a good story about that. Anyway, for another day.
For another day.
But
All right,
hey,
Shane.
Shane, I got to ask you this question. That last job that I absolutely loved, that had the Imperials on that fence, which I absolutely loved that. Was that guy rich or was he normal?
No, he was definitely rich. He had
Oh fuck,
seven.
oh my God, you're a liar. He was normal. He was normal.
He has a net worth of over $1 million. I think to
Okay,
the
that's normal. That's
like,
normal.
that rich.
Everybody has a net worth over 1 million because their home and their value and their this and their that
Well,
and their
not
retirement.
every
It's
rich
normal.
person. It's not everyone
It's
does. It
normal.
might be normal in your world,
Normal.
but
Normal.
I guarantee you, little poor Nate that was peddling newspapers on the ghetto streets of California, you would have thought, "Holy smokes, that guy's a millionaire. He's mega rich."
Yeah, what's great is that no matter where you are in life, there's always someone that you're looking up to.
Yeah.
Like, Nate is rich in our mind, and he's like, I'm poor, right? Nate looks up to this other guy who's rich, and then that guy's looking up to somebody else who's even rich. They're rich, right? So it is 100% subjective.
The only reason I pretend I have money, and that's why I have 1,000 shirts, because it makes me feel like I have money. That's it.
1,000 shirts and 600 lights.
Nate says his neighborhood's a normal neighborhood, and Matt and I are like, no, that's not a freaking normal neighborhood.
Yeah, it is a normal neighborhood.
It's normal to you, but not to me. Yeah. Being a net worth of a 10 millionaire, it's normal for Nate. Whereas that's rich.
He won't even have a cocktail with you unless you're putting $1 million down just to see, with a coin flip with him.
Anyway, I think Shane that we want to get a lot of whoever's listening out there. I don't know if you have our numbers. We should make sure we put all of our contact information somewhere somehow on this. But
maybe like
we're
lighting
looking to
trade
find.
school.
Yeah, lighting trade school, but you can pick up the phone, call me. I've had the same number for 35 years. It's out everywhere. But hey, we're looking to get more lighting assassins that want to join our whatever you call us, white trash millionaires, slumdog millionaires, hobo millionaires, wannabe dipshit millionaires. That is us, right?
Sure.
Anyway, we're there to help everybody.
So Shane, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, shoot us a message.
All right.
Peace.
I gotta go.